guys, and welcome to this week's episode of ReCap. Once again, we'll be focusing on The Flash, Arrow, and DC's Legends of Tomorrow. With each recap happening in order of release, let's get started with The Flash Season 2, Episode 11. This episode continues where Episode 10 left us. The Reverse Flash is back. A big plotline in this episode is explaining the science behind how Eobard Vaughn is still alive.
Keeping him alive and his timeline intact, it's what's known as a timeline remnant.
A what now?
Here, let me show you. This is now, here, today. This is the time Thawne comes from. This is the moment you all erased him from existence, but since Thawne is from the future, this is where his timeline begins. That's why he's still alive. This Thawne has not yet traveled back in time to kill Barry's mother. He's here now in this time period for the first time. Timeline remnant.
A hero has discovered that the Turtle is dead, believing that he died of a brain hemorrhage, when in fact, Earth 2's Harrison Wells killed him. This episode focuses on three things: capturing the Reverse Flash, saving Jay from dying, Barry saying goodbye to Patty. With the previous episode, Patty had told Barry she was going to college to become a CSI. With this information, Barry has become distant, thinking that Patty has made her decision, and with it being her lifetime goal to be a CSI. Barry, despite loving her, won't stop her dream from coming true. With Barry being distant, Patty begins to uncover the truth about Barry being the Flash, despite both Barry and Joe telling Patty otherwise. Patty rings Barry whilst on the train, leaving saying that there was gunmen on board. Barry, as the Flash, runs towards the train in order to save the day, with Patty standing up and saying, "False alarm." The two have a quick moment with each other and say goodbye. Jay has revealed to Caitlin that he is dying. Without his access to the Speed Force, his cells are deteriorating at a rapid speed. With this information, Caitlin decides to find Jay's Earth 1 counterpart in order to get cells to replace Jay's dying ones. However, there is no Jay Garrett in Earth 1. Leading Jay to tell Caitlin about Hunter Solomon, Jay's Earth 1 counterpart. However, as Jay reveals, his cells can't be fixed without his speed. Now, those of you who do your research or are big fans of the comics might have been really excited with the introduction of Hunter Solomon, with Barry capturing the Reverse Flash and knowing that he is from the future. Before he goes back to kill Barry's mother, things start to go bad for Cisco. While stopping the Reverse Flash from leaving, Barry risks destroying the timeline. However, once seeing Cisco dying, Barry decides to help Eobard return to the future to restore the timeline. Now let's move on to Arrow Season 4, Episode 11. This episode is very simple and I loved it. Without getting into too much into it at all, this episode focused mainly on Felicity and her identity within both herself and the team. This leads to her getting the codename Overwatch, with Oliver jokingly saying Oracle was taken. More brotherly moments have developed between Diggle and his brother, but I have to say that my favourite moment is when Amanda Waller is killed. Sorry to keep Arrow short, but it's time to talk about Legends of Tomorrow, Season 1, Episode 2. Legends continues on the path of finding Vandal Savage. Thanks to the information provided by Hawkman and Hawkgirl's son, the team is able to discover a location to which Vandal is meant to be. However, this event complicates the timeline. Adam leaves behind a piece of tech, Vandal Savage man reverse engineering it within 24 hours. Gideon predicts that the world will be destroyed in 2016. Martin says that his past self has a way to track down the piece of tech, so he and his other half, along with White Canary, go to meet 1975's version of Martin's dying. Whilst they are doing that, Adam, Captain Cold, and Heatwave are trying to break into a house to steal a dagger. This particular blade can be used to kill Vandal Savage. After getting the tech from younger Martin Stein, we learn that in his youth, he was much of a pothead. After all, it was the 70s. However, in getting the tech and changing the timeline again, Martin doesn't meet his wife. With White Canary retrieving the piece of tech Adam lost, the team gets a call from Adam. The house they broke into was the Vandal Savages. The team quickly rush over the Savages' home and a fight begins. With Hawkman having the dagger, he stabs Savage. However, only Hawkgirl can use the dagger, as the blade was originally hers. Savage takes the dagger out of his own body and kills Hawkman. With Hawkman's death, the team retreat. Rip fixes the timeline so that Martin still meets his wife, and the team vows to bring Savage down once and for all with the united pledge for Carter. Well, that's it for this week's episode recap. Let me know what you think of this week's episodes of The Flash, Arrow, and DC's Legends of Tomorrow in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to like, And if you don't want to miss out on any of our future content, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm Trent and I'll see you next time.